Hey guys, so somebody left me a question about what, I think I'm understanding this correctly. What do I do, or should one do about a one-off type situation that goes awry? Like you plan a vacation, intend for it to happen a certain way, and then it doesn't. It happens some other way. Things go awry. It doesn't turn out to be what you intended for it to be, all of that. And I want to preface this by saying that I think that you should at the very least be extremely skeptical of anybody that tells you that you can control every outer event that happens in your life. I don't know anybody who's able to do that. I've realized the futility of that at some point long ago. I don't try to control outside events almost at all. Anything like my direct environment. I don't try to control the details of how anything goes down at all. So for me personally, the vacation going awry scenario, that wouldn't be something where I'm like, my manifestation didn't happen, because I just wouldn't, I don't know, I wouldn't approach something like that where I'm like, well, I'm going to plan this event and it's going to go down this way. And, I just, I don't know, it's hard for me to respond to that because I wouldn't do that. Stuff happens that screws up your plans all the time. So, and people that tell you, oh, if you just believe that your plans will never get screwed up, then they never will. I mean, there's so many people spouting this shit off everywhere. It's just like, it's exhausting, honestly, at this point, with how many people are saying things that I know for a fucking fact they're not actually experiencing in their life. It's just people that want to hear themselves talk so that they can feel smart. That's it. That's my opinion on the people that tell you can control everything in your immediate environment. Come on. So basically, my response to the vacation going awry thing is, I don't try to control outer events. I try to control myself. When it comes to you wanting an event to go well, like for example, I want to get married at some point. I would like for that to go well. I'd like to have a wedding with my fiance at some point here. And, I've avoided even beginning to plan anything for that due to the outer circumstances of COVID and all that stuff. And my avoiding it is largely because of this philosophy that I don't, there aren't too many things that I really want to go well. And that's one of the things that I want to go well. And so here's what I'm doing for that. I'm trying to get over the need that I have for that thing to go well. I'm trying to get over, I've been trying to think about my motivations for wanting that thing to happen that way. This is me, this is what I do. My goal is to be peaceful and happy all the time. That's my end goal. And so rather than attempting to control the 3D, I use all of my energy to control myself and to control the way I look at things. Because the way you look at things determines how you experience them authentically. It's not a cop-out. It's truly where all the power lies. So for the example of my wedding, whenever that happens, I believe something is going to happen to just sort of have that whole thing fall into place without me having to plan it down to the details. So I've completely let go of the planning. I'm relying on something happening in the right way at the right time. And what aspect of my higher self is setting that up, or what will have to happen for that thing to emerge into reality, I don't know. And frankly, I don't care. I don't want to waste my time thinking about it. So for me personally, I look at, what is it that I want? What is it about this wedding that I want? And I'm going to tell you, when I first got engaged, I was all about this idea of having this big wedding in a traditional way at a country club near where I live and all this shit. And it dawned on me pretty quickly, I'm not doing this out of a genuine desire for this. I want this because I have always taken a different route from everybody else. I've always, all these things that like everybody has experienced, that everybody kind of goes through, like jobs where they have coworkers and they experience this environment, like, that's not like some sexy thing that everybody wants, but it's something that I've never really experienced. There's a lot of things in my life due to the path that I've taken that I haven't experienced like everyone else. I didn't join a sorority in college. I didn't have like a big group of girlfriends in my 20s that I went out partying with all the time, like by choice. But at the same, even though that was my choice, those were my choices, there was a part of me that always felt like I'm missing out on all these experiences. Like I'm not having all these traditional, like, American, rite of passage experiences. And so for the wedding, and the wedding was always something that was never something like in my 20s. I just watched everybody do the exact same thing, and I was just like, it's just a different face in that dress. Like the rest of it is exactly the same. But so at this point, now that nobody's gotten married that I know in like 20 years, because I'm so freaking old, I was starting to think, with this wedding thing, I think I want to just do this the traditional way so I can have one of these rite of passage experiences. And I realized that that's just, I just have to get okay with the fact that I'm not doing anything that everybody else did. And I don't even really want that. As I started to kind of plan it, I found this amazing venue, and everything looked perfect. And I called and, trying to set stuff up, and I realized that it wasn't the right size. And I started feeling really disappointed, and the whole experience just kind of sucked. And I was like, this isn't me, and I don't want to do this. I don't want to enjoy this. And so I had to start thinking about it. What are my motivations for this? What do I really want? Like, what really makes sense for me and my fiance? Having some traditional, that doesn't like make sense with either of us. I think we're going to get married by Elvis. But all of that just to illustrate, sort of in a similar way, like planning a vacation that you really want to go a certain way. I think really it all comes down to trying to figure out why it is that you want that thing. What is it that you're hoping to have from that? And I'm not saying you shouldn't try to like go on vacation or have a nice vacation or like plan a nice wedding or any of that. I'm not saying like to talk yourself out of every experience in life. This is just where I'm coming from with it. 3D events you can't control. You can. And so that's where all of the energy should always go. So with the wedding thing, I had to kind of talk myself out of, I had to kind of think, well, if this, and this doesn't happen, why do I feel disappointed about that? And it turns out it's not really anything coming from a true desire. It's something coming from sort of a belief that I had that, I've missed out or something like that, which just it really isn't true, honestly. I've done everything in my life exactly the way I wanted to do it. The I Did It My Way song by Frank Sinatra describes my life so far pretty much to a T. I've got a few regrets, but for the most part, too few to mention. So anyway, I don't know if that really answered the question. I wouldn't personally myself spend a lot of energy trying to manifest specific events happening a specific way. That's just me. You'll find probably a lot of other people out there telling you can do that and telling you how to do it. I don't know that those people aren't complete and total liars. I don't know too many people that are just, controlling every single thing in their environment. In fact, most of the people that I know who have these kind of amazing experiences that flow in and out of like things working perfectly for them have my philosophy. And that's part of the reason why I have the philosophy I do. I flowed right into just an incredibly perfect situation with buying a house earlier this year that I didn't have to do any kind of trying. I didn't have to try to control anything. I didn't have to look at it and say, I'm going to control this aspect, and I'm going to, I didn't have to do any of it. Just kind of flowed into it. And that's where I think you end up when you stop trying to control everything directly. Because a lot of the time, you don't really know what experience is going to produce the thing you're trying to experience anyway. Whatever you were trying to get out of that perfect vacation that didn't go the way you wanted, I think you have to look a little deeper and say, what was I trying to get out of this? And was I trying to condition the desire? That's the best I've got for that, because I don't try to control. I think you can exert some level of mental control in your immediate environment. I think you can. I don't, none of these are facts that anybody's talking about here. It's just people's opinions and their experience. And I don't have enough. I would have to have had hundreds and hundreds of direct control experiences for me to confidently say, hey, you can control this thing right now in the next 5 minutes. I think pretty much everybody talking about this has had successes with that and failures with that, and we don't know exactly why. So I just don't waste my time on things that I can't really figure out, or that I don't have a lot of personal experience with. I don't know if that helped anybody. I hope it did. as always, I think pretty much everything on this channel boils down to it's got to be about you. In just about every scenario, it's got to be about you. You know, with the right attitude, a vacation that goes awry could end up being the best memories of your life. You know what I mean? Some of the best experiences happen out of what seems to be things going wrong. So if you can't get to a point where you can see it that way, you won't be able to experience it that way. So that's about it. Have a great day.